Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is RAMCCALL here. So, just giving you all a quick update for the month of April of 2022. And for those of you that may be new to the channel, I'm basically just sort of like documenting my whole journey from $0 all the way up to about like $1 million in monthly revenue for my business. And in this instance in particular, I basically just have like 2 blog websites running a bunch of ads on them, and I'm scaling up production quite a bit month over month in the amount of about 100 plus articles to one of the websites. So without further ado, let's get started. And as far as like kind of who's inspired me to create this channel and actually create these websites to start off this little journey right here, I just want to quickly run through a list of people that I've followed on YouTube. And the first one being Passive Income Geek. He's a really great guy, has a YouTube channel here on YouTube. And he basically just sort of evangelizes the business model that is blogging, essentially. And all it really takes is to be able to generate a lot of page views onto any particular blog website that you have running online, have it rank at the top of Google through like underserved topics, have a ton of page views, and then basically monetize all that traffic. And then essentially once you kind of find that formula that he teaches, then you just scale that up, and it's a fantastic business model that can make you lots of money per month in a passive way. And then as far as the second guy, Below Average Blogger. So he's like kind of a newer individual that had started blogging about a year or two ago. And he was actually able to scale up his websites. I think he had like 6 or 7 websites, but in his recent video, he actually sold all of them, and now he just has one main website. But he was clearing almost like $1,000 to $2,000 per month within like 12 months. So that's pretty incredible. And that's just sort of a testament to how repeatable this business model actually is. And then Passive Income Unlock. These guys like almost made $50K a month back in December. And since then, they've added quite a bit of articles to each of their 5 or 6 websites. And I would say like pretty consistently they make anywhere from like $20,000 a month to around like 40 or almost 50 now, hopefully, per month in passive income from these websites. So it's really pretty inspiring. And again, just kind of showcases just how repeatable this business model is, as well as the amount of potential that it can produce for you because of how easily it is to scale. And then Growth Scatter, he finally came out with another video, but unfortunately, he's not going to be, I guess, documenting more revenue numbers or page view numbers for one of his websites that was really cool to see previously. But he basically just came out with another like Q&A, kind of answering what he's up to these days. And for those of you that may not know, he basically was able to like scale up his one monster website from like 0 all the way up to like $20,000 per month. And that was like 6 months ago, so I would assume he's doing pretty well. But anyways, so I highly recommend y'all check out these guys' channels, and they're really great guys, and they're really easy to follow, great to watch, and hopefully they can serve as some inspiration for you. So without further ado, once more, let's get into the case study that I have right here. And so I have 2 websites, and what I decided to do differently this time is to kind of represent the growth in page views over the past like 6 to 7 months, I think, or 8 months, whatever it is, for both the websites. So we have website 1 right here, and you can see since the inception of the website from about June 1st all the way up to about April 30th, which was yesterday, it's basically hit almost 70,000 page views per month in that span of time. And that's pretty incredible. And as you can see as well, the traffic is basically kind of like stayed rather consistent, and it's obviously increased substantially month over month. I'm filtering it on a monthly basis, but if you were to see the weekly or daily basis, then you'd most likely be able to see a more granular view of the performance of the website. But the reason why I did this is to kind of give you an idea in terms of like the average page views per month, as well as the average time on page. So if you watch the other videos, my average time on page has been about like 4.5 minutes, and it continues to be the case, even though it's filtered this time all throughout the preceding months. So that's a pretty encouraging sign as you start to build these websites. It's pretty stable in the sense that if you're able to build really good content that's formatted in the right way, then readers will stay on your page for a little bit longer and earn you more revenue. And as far as like the Google Search Console performance, so the impressions have actually gone up by quite a bit as well. So I think like last month it was only about like 1 million impressions, and then before that it took like 5 or 6 months for it just to get to 1 million. But then within like the past month, it's actually started to skyrocket, and I would expect it by the end of this month to be past 3 million impressions. So as you can see as well, the impressions, the clicks, and all that is continuing to rise on a daily and monthly basis, which is really encouraging to see. And then as far as revenue, this is really exciting. So just a little disclaimer, I actually did put Ezoic back on a website too, just to kind of play around with it and get a, I guess, more up-to-date perspective on the earnings since the traffic has started to really increase this past month. So this little snapshot right here actually encapsulates both earnings from the website. So as far as like April revenue goes for both website 1 and website 2, I made about $1,100, and that's within like the span of about 7 or 8 months, I believe. Yeah, so this is pretty awesome to see. The EPMV as well is around $15 per 1,000 visitors. So that is my minimum threshold that I was hoping to see for both websites. So that's also an encouraging sign to see. And what I'll be talking about in a second is I actually applied to Mediavine. They rejected my application, but they also said that the content is not the issue. It's just the formatting and like kind of adding more pictures and breaking up the text. So I expect once I'm able to do that and get into Mediavine that the EPMV is going to increase by quite a bit. And then as far as website 2 goes, the growth trajectory is pretty cool because I only put like 340 articles on it, and I haven't really touched this website since basically December. So that means within the past like 4 months until here in May, so I guess 5 months actually, the website continues to grow and the average time on page continues to grow as well. And I know like this depiction right here since the inception only sits about like 2.5 minutes, but the website is actually starting to report back like almost 3.5 minutes on average time per page. So that's an encouraging sign to see. More people are seeing the website for a more longer period of time, and the trajectory, as you can see right here on a monthly basis, continues to go up. And I think it was at about like 25,000 page views. So it's obviously the growth rate is starting to really take off. And again, as far as like the Google Search Console as well, the impressions have passed the 1 million mark for this website. And I really like this growth trajectory because it just seems like it has no signs of stopping anytime soon. So one of my plans actually is once I'm able to get website 1 onto Mediavine and have a higher RPM or EPMV, if you will, or basically like higher earnings per 1,000 visitors, then I may consider topping this website off with the categories that are actually doing a lot better in terms of generating page views, impressions, and like organic clicks from US speaking countries. I'm going to be topping this website off as well to about 1,000 articles once I do that for website 1. So all that to be said, I suspect that by the end of the year, certainly, I would have over 2,000 published posts between the two websites, 1,000 on each at least, and both on Mediavine earning quite a bit of money. But anyways, that's a really encouraging sort of graph right there to see. And so I keep speaking about Mediavine. So basically what they told me is they love my content, and they basically imply that the content is not an issue and they would love to work with me. But I just need to sort of do a little bit more work on structuring and reformatting each of the posts. So basically the 3 suggestions that they had for me was to essentially just delete the table of contents. I know some people have the table of contents to where it is collapsed, and I think that's what I had on mine, but I just said, you know what, I'm going to follow Mediavine's advice and just delete the table of contents and sort of take care of that, because my main goal is really just to get on Mediavine and obtain higher added revenue for the websites. And then as well, so I may not have mentioned this in my previous videos, but you know, I actually really haven't spent that much time adding pictures, videos, or really even like breaking up the paragraphs into like 2-3 sentence paragraphs. I mean, a lot of it is just big blocks of text because I'm so focused on just producing massive amounts of content. So this month of May of 2022, what I plan on doing is basically going into each of the blog posts, going through each paragraph, tapping the enter bar, and basically breaking up all of the paragraphs into like 1 or 2 sentence paragraphs, and then start adding in more relevant pictures. So what I've done actually recently, I have like a whole database of pictures that I've taken myself, and hopefully that'll also boost like the authoritativeness within Google because I'm using unique images and I don't have to use other people's images on my own website. So I have unique images, a lot more broken up text, and I think that will allow people to stay on the website even longer than the 4.5 minutes or 3.5 minutes that it is right now. And that should hopefully also increase my EPMV, or basically like earnings, because people are staying on the website even longer. And then that kind of leads into the last point. So I basically have like structured these 2 websites with having like an answer paragraph in the front and center in the intro section, as well as the conclusion. And then I have like questions and answers or whatever within each of the subheadings. So hopefully as I add like more paragraph spacing and pictures and videos perhaps within each subheading and like intro paragraph, then that can hopefully also like take care of the third suggestion that they had, which was to kind of not necessarily give the audience what they want right off the bat, but sort of string them along until further in the article, just so you can create more revenue opportunities by them having more time on page to see the ads. So anyways, I'm going to try that and sort of see how it works, and then I'll probably reapply to Mediavine for website 1, and then see what that gets me, and then see what they say, if they accept it or not, and then I'll just keep reassessing. But really, the way I see it, even if I don't get onto Mediavine, which I suspect I will, my EPMV, again, is where I want it to be, and I don't really think I can lose in either instance. So if they continue to reject me, then I'll probably just try to apply to AdThrive, or just stay with the Zoic and just keep cranking content out and making still a substantial amount of money per month. But anyways, I'm not really too worried about that. I'm just going to take what they said as actually really important suggestions and apply it to my website, and then hopefully that'll set things off in a good way. So as far as like the performance of the website goes, so you can actually see that since like the start of the year, so about a few months ago, my revenue has gone up from only about $100 a month to all the way to $1,100 per month. And that's actually a pretty astounding amount of growth within the span of about 4 months or so. And as you can see, the total article count has gone from 631 to about over 1,000 articles. Page views as well, 27,000 page views in total between the 2 websites, all the way up to almost 95,000, so almost like 100,000 page views. So within 4 months, I've gone from like 25,000 page views basically to 100,000 page views. And that's pretty insane growth. And I think obviously that's just because of the massive amount of content I'm publishing between 2 websites, notably between website 1 in particular. And I think that is going to increase in terms of the page views and the revenue and all that as I start to crank out even more content. So what I did actually to kind of like project or take like the historical data, because I want to try and like do this from like a data-driven perspective. I don't want to just kind of speculate and throw numbers around. So what I did was I took like essentially like the past like 4 to 5 months of performance. So like I guess to like from this month all the way past to like December or something, calculated the average growth for each month, and then averaged all those growth trajectories or periods into one simple projection of about 30% growth month over month. And I applied it to the end of this month. I guess that's kind of cut off right there, but so I applied the 31% growth rate to what it could potentially be if things stay similar, considering obviously the historical data that I've gathered and essentially projecting that out. So if things continue in the right way or trajectory, using the same EPMV I'm getting of about 15 EPMV, $15 per 1,000 visitors, by the end of this month, I could be looking at around almost $2,000 per month. And then projecting that even further into next January, I could be looking at over 1 million page views per month, as well as $16,000 in monthly revenue. And that to me is pretty incredible because, again, like once you're starting to sort of scale up your content production in the right way, then you can really start to see the benefits rather quickly, especially as you add lots of volume of content. And as that content starts to grow and obtain more page views every month and obtain higher rankings within Google, when people type in the search terms, you can really start to see the effects of compound growth. You hear a lot of that in like investing, but the same principle applies in blogging as well. So I would suspect that, honestly, like if this continues, then this is a fantastic business model. And I kind of really look forward to sort of seeing this grow over the coming years. And hopefully the growth rate will actually increase as I'm able to sort of expand my content production past just about 100 or 200 posts per month. And then hopefully the growth rate will keep continuing to increase. And then, the monthly revenue as well will increase substantially as well. But for any of y'all that are like statistics geniuses out there or who have a lot more experience with blogging than I do, I'd be kind of curious to see if this is like a reasonable sort of expectation, if you will, in terms of the growth rate. And I've also played around with numbers of about like 5% growth rate month over month, 15, 25%, but I'm just using the current growth rate on the average that I've gotten so far and then applied it right here. So if this is a realistic number, let me know, or if it's not, let me know. I'd honestly really be curious to hear what you guys are experiencing on your own websites. So anyways, this was just kind of a quick update, y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.